Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hey friend, welcome back to the podcast and happy Friday. I hope you had a great week. I hope you have amazing plans for the weekend. Yesterday, this giant ship made its way through the Panama Canal. What an epic feat. What an amazing experience. Oh my gosh, I have so much to say about this and that it happened on the spring equinox. So there's this like birthing of new beginning and new creation, and we were moving through this canal and it took a long time. There were just so many parallels. Liz and I were just in our bliss. She even prepared this amazing meditation and had people in her community do this meditation together for the spring equinox. I know you know Liz McCutcheon. She's been on the podcast a couple of times, and she's the one that walked the Camino a few years ago. And then we've had her on a few times. She's phenomenal and fabulous. In fact, I'm going to ask her when I'm done recording this, if she will let us link that meditation so that you can have it too. So, please go to the show notes. I'm assuming her yes, and click on that meditation. It's just phenomenal. It's so good. And I am basking in the beauty and the glory of travel, of the pattern interrupt, of opening myself up to new places and new ideas that, of course, the geography allows for that, but also just me being in a different environment allows for that. So as I am globetrotting, if you are interested in the Creative in Residence program that happens at the Phineas Wright House while I'm gone, I would love to have you investigate that. They're 2-week stints. They are priced beautifully and appropriately. It's not a farm stay. I'm not here making you breakfast. It's a totally different situation than our regular solo retreats or the bed and breakfast option. But the Creative in Residence gives you 2 weeks for that gorgeous pattern interrupt to be in the beautiful magic that is the Phineas Wright House. And you can paint, you can work on your book, you can compose music, you can make culinary delights, you can create your social media calendar, whatever creative thing that you just wish you had, beautiful long bucket of time to get it done in a space that is beautiful and inspiring. This is your chance. So there's a link down in the show notes for that. That'll take you to an application page. And I would love to talk to you about having you do a Creative in Residence here at the Phineas Wright House while I follow my bliss getting stamps in my passport all year long. Okay. Back to the task at hand. Today's guest, we have Vivian Okeke. She is a Canadian HR consultant, author, and founder of Pro Support HR Partners. She helps small business owners bring order to chaos by building HR systems that are simple, practical, and grounded in real life, not textbook theory. With over 15 years of hands-on HR experience across countries, Vivian blends structure, compassion, and leadership in a way that makes people feel understood. She started her firm after seeing how overwhelmed entrepreneurs were with hiring, onboarding, and compliance, and decided to create solutions that actually work for real businesses. Her first book, Beneath the Cornerstone, shares the lessons, stories, and values that shaped her as a leader, a mother, and a woman choosing purpose over fear. Vivian is passionate about helping people lead with heart, build sustainable businesses, and create workplaces where both the owners and the employees can thrive. You are going to love her. She has fantastic energy. She's so beautiful and has so much insight to share with us. Please enjoy this conversation with Vivian Okeke. Vivian, I am so delighted to have you here. Thank you in advance for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to have this conversation with you, Wendy.
Yes, it's going to be so good. And I just want to start out by asking, how are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
I'm saying yes to myself by embracing every opportunity that comes my way that will add value to my life and to the people around me. That's what I'm doing, stepping out of my comfort zone and saying yes to opportunities that will positively impact my life and the people I love around me.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I feel like that's the whole conversation. What a beautiful intention.
Yes.
How was the process of getting to a place where that became your yes?
I realized that most times I'm my worst critic.
Mm,
So I have become extremely intentional about my purpose in life and about stepping out also in faith, knowing that when you're overthinking some things and you get to that point to experience whatever it is you're overthinking, you realize that why did I waste so much energy on this?
right.
So I have come to just, go with the flow, enjoy life, enjoy whatever I see. Also, last year, July, I lost my older brother.
Oh,
So he died suddenly.
mm,
And every time I think about him, I think about all the goals and aspirations that he never got to achieve.
sure.
So it's also one of those things that propels me. Yes, I have my moments of doubts, but I just ask myself, why not? Why
Right.
not just do it? Why not experience this? Why don't not just put your best foot forward and try?
Yes. And I'm so sorry that it was a tragically sad event that gave you that strength, but I love that you are bringing so much good out of that situation. And I think that's so profound for anybody listening. We can use these events as the catalyst that they are, and we can reframe the situation that this is not happening to us, it's happening for us. And what am I supposed to do with it? I want to honor this person I lost, or I want to honor this relationship that's completing, or this job that is shifting. And a way to honor what was is by taking the gift of that lesson and using it to inform who we're becoming.
Absolutely. Thank you, Wendy.
Of course. And how is that playing out? I mean, you've been obviously practicing this from before you lost your brother, but how has it been significant in that time? What decisions are you making that feel that fear would have held you back in the past, but now you are taking inspired action?
I I decided to, was seek more opportunities around my business. I run a HR consulting company in Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
And there's this particular, I've been trying to upgrade my website,
Yes.
and I just kept looking at the nitty gritty. I'm picking up, it's something that was supposed to take like a month. I let it linger to like months, 3 months, 4 months. I'm still trying to figure, oh, it's not perfect. I had to tell myself, look, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
It doesn't have to be. Launch your website, sell your products, put yourself out there, talk about what you do to people, even when it makes you uncomfortable.
Right.
Start networking more.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing for myself.
Oh, good for you. And I applaud that because it's no joke. This entrepreneurial journey is no joke.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been extremely challenging, but extremely rewarding as well. I have a daughter, I have a okay, she's gonna be 10 in May. So
Oh my gosh, mine just turned 12.
oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So managing a business and trying to be a parent also is so hard, but it's extremely rewarding because I find that I have more time to do certain things for my daughter. I have time to also volunteer in her school, get to know her teachers, get to, know her friends. We have conversations. If there's a sometimes I can just go to the school just to say hi. So
Oh,
I like that I'm able to do those things. And when she sees me volunteering in school during the day, I see the smile on her face. So I see, okay, this we don't even know how much it positively impacts our kids when we are able to do little things like this for them. So I'm able to do this because I'm an entrepreneur. Yes, I might not be where I want to be because, being a small business owner is extremely challenging, but I'm also happy seeing my hard work. You see the results of your hard work, seeing how I'm able to help a fellow entrepreneur with their systems, building the structure for their business, helping them scale their business. So it's very, very rewarding, really. It's a rewarding journey, challenging, but very rewarding.
yes, I could not agree more. And they say that owning a small business, being an entrepreneur is like a crash course in personal development,
It
and
really is.
parenting is a crash course in personal development. And I'm sure all the other things we're doing are also
Mhm.
crash courses. Yeah, I've even wanting to parent well, wanting to parent consciously, wanting to not create narratives on my daughter's behalf that are not going to be in service to her, that she's going to have to listen to a podcast 50 years from now to unpack. I feel like parenting already takes all day long every day, but conscious parenting takes like 5 days for every day because we're trying to do it well and reparent ourselves in the process.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So I see you in that.
Thank you so much. When you talked about with your daughter not trying to, project per se, I also had to learn to do that with my daughter. We have different personalities. So
Mhm.
sometimes I find she's very outgoing, very outspoken, very bold. I love it. And sometimes I project my own personal insecurities on her because I'm like, I don't want people to judge you. I don't want you to be misunderstood. I had to come to the point where I started telling myself, who cares?
Right.
Why do I have to dim her light for other person's light to shine? Why do I have to make herself smaller for for somebody else's insecurities? It's the only goal I have is to make sure I raise her to be a good and a decent human being in the society. But I need to allow her shine. So I also have to learn to do that.
Yes. There's such a beautiful mirror to us. In a recent episode with Ava Kennedy, we were talking about shining our light and not dimming ourselves. It's required because what you're doing for your clients, what I'm doing for my listeners and podcast guests, I want to shine a light onto your good work in the world. I can only shine a light if I'm a light. Like
Exactly.
I have to use my own juice, my own energy, my own brightness so that I can point it in your direction. But if I'm dimming myself, then I'm not pointing anything in your direction that is of use.
Absolutely. You're very correct. Talking about shining the lights and on my clients, that was actually one of the reasons I wrote my book,
Mm.
Beneath the Cornerstone. So I didn't want it to be the usual. HR guide, you do this, you do that. There's a step to this, step to conquer the world, step to managing your people now. Every chapter has like a narrative, a story of how each entrepreneur, small business owner, that pivotal moment in their business when they realize, okay, we're doing something wrong, and how do we make it better? So they went back to the drawing board, to the foundation, which is the people.
Yes.
So in the book, I have steps, and you can, as you're reading it, you can visualize it. I wanted whoever is reading it, even if you're just starting up your business, you don't have to be a professional in whatever you do. You don't have to be a pro in what you're doing. If you're just a solopreneur trying to figure it out, even if it's your mom in the house trying to manage your home, you can read it and just see. My business is, I want people to look at HR and not get intimidated by it.
Mm.
I want you to see the person and to see me as someone who understands your struggle. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm a mom. I'm first to tell you that I'm a mom. Yes, I have my skill sets in human resources, but I'm a human being like you. I'm a business owner like you. I struggle just the way you struggle. So I have that empathy to know that the reason I'm telling you to follow the employment laws, to make sure you have the employment standard acts together, make sure you have policies in place, is if you protect your business, you're also protecting your employees. So we just want to make the world a better place. Why not?
Yes. Right, right. No, everybody wins if the world's a better place. It's so good. And I love that you've used narrative to communicate these principles. Is there one a favorite story and principle that it pulls out from the book that you can share with us?
Yes, I like to tell. Is a story about, she has a Susan. She has a law firm. Worked so hard to build this amazing law firm, and she started from scratch, from her bedroom, and she got a fantastic plush location in Toronto, Canada. So she realized that she had her other junior lawyers and legal colleagues in the office, but she realized that she was doing everything by herself. One day, one of her best employees said, "You know what? I'm going to leave."
Oh,
She said, "Why do you want to?" She said, "Why do you want to leave?" He said, "No, it's not because you're not a great boss. It's not because I don't love working with you, but because I see that there's no growth for me here."
mm,
She asked, "Why do you think there's no growth for me here?" He said, "Because you do everything revolves really around you. So you need to learn to trust us to take certain decisions." And that was when it was like a light bulb moment for her.
right.
We all do that. We all try to build this. Our business is like our baby. We want to just protect it. We want to do everything, even though we have people we've employed to help us. But the strength comes in giving them the opportunities to be able to make decisions. Because I also tell, if you're employing somebody, means that you trust your decision making skills enough to bring this person into your business. So as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as we are scaling our businesses, we need to learn to also let go. And
Yeah,
when we let go, we avoid burning out. So that's what she did.
right.
She let go, allowed people to do what she employed them to do, so she can also have time to go on vacation.
Right, right. And be restored.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a beautiful story. And I love how it really can translate to anybody's business or their home life. Because I think we have been raised with this conditioning that we do it, quote unquote, all, even though we sometimes have help. We feel like we're carrying it all, even if we're not doing it all. And in some cases, no one's mad at us for doing that. And so then we feel like we don't have a choice. We're trapped in that. Sometimes we've made up that whole narrative as well. And the other people in our lives or in our businesses are not expecting us to carry it all, but we just are.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do we have the courage to share that responsibility to delegate? I'm very eager to hear your answer, but one thing that I know is important, no one can read our minds. So I think in this process of delegation, it also requires clear communication, training,
Yes.
because we can't, otherwise, they're not going to do it the way that I mean, they don't have to do it exactly like us, obviously, but we have a standard. We are the business owner. We are the mom. I know how the dishwasher is supposed to be loaded. It's my dishwasher.
Yeah.
you know, so some things are silly and, can be done a different way, but some things are really important because it is our brand. It is our business. So how are you coaching your clients through those kinds of transitions of moving from a solopreneur in a room full of people that also work here to somebody who is delegating so that they can focus on the growth?
Before even you start hiring your first employees, that's what I tell solopreneurs. I said, start building the system right now and the structure that you want to see when you bring in people into your business. So when we build that system and that culture, we build out the strategy for it. For your first hire, we have to have a standard operating procedure. You must
And
have
how
it.
and how do we, I mean, as you're saying that, I'm reminded of an past episode with Erin Kruger. She talked about like whatever it is that you're doing that you're wanting to delegate, just you open up your phone and start recording the steps. Like, I'm opening our CRM, I'm choosing new email, I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. And then take that transcript, put it into Chat GPT, my new boyfriend, and ask it to create a procedure for sending emails to our list.
Let's say once you have an SOP documented, you have it, you have a process flow, then when you bring in your people, you're training them. You have to put in the work really to train your people. You train them, they understand that there's an SOP somewhere. This is when you're taking a call, this is how we speak to our customers. When an issue occurs in this area, this is how we handle it. And as your business grows, you update that those documents that you already have in place. So I always tell business owners, please make sure that you have policies, you have your handbooks, you have your SOPs in place. These are the things that you need. They're like your Bible per se, your guiding principles for your business. They go back there, and if you're not in the office, they know that there's a documentation somewhere that can help them through a particular process. So it also gives you that confidence to know that I have these things in place, and we will continuously train our employees to get better at it. So you need to make sure you have documentations in place to help you with these things.
And you can do that through that listing
That's all.
exercise that I just said. You can make
Exactly.
videos for people. You can, whatever way, I mean, people learn in different ways. I mean, I can read a SOP, but I would rather watch
Social media.
someone tell me why it's important because it feels more experiential to me. So I think that that's a really beautiful piece because it does feel hard to hand it off. And it also feels hard to write it down. Like, how do they not just know? Well, they don't just know.
I don't know. And remember, it's your business.
Mhm.
Like you said, you know how to work your dishwasher. You're bringing somebody in, you need to show the person you have to press this, press that, load the dish, do this, close it, come out. Yes, it might sound mundane at that point, but if you start writing it early on before you start bringing those people and your services starts, you start adding more services to what you already do, it becomes easier. All you need to do is just update, update, update. You can remove some and then you add some.
Oh, it's so good.
And there are also tools, really, the automations that can help you do it very easy.
Right. It's just sometimes it can feel as an entrepreneur hard to know where to start because sometimes we don't ask for or receive help at the earliest signs. So it gets to be like, now I don't have time to do an SOP. That's why I need somebody. I mean, we
Yeah,
can,
that's
we
true.
can, get ourselves in situations. So I love this recommendation and guidance to start early in documenting what these processes are, and then also start early in seeking support and receiving help.
So I also tell business owners, entrepreneurs that we need to learn how to, first of all, you can collaborate with other people who do the same business that you do, and you can always outsource some services. I am not an accountant. I'm not going to pretend I know how to do bookkeeping, so I'm going to outsource that service.
Right.
I am not an IT specialist, so I cannot build my websites. What am I going to do? I'm going to outsource that service.
Right.
So whatever you know you can do you can find businesses that can help you do it at discounted rates, or you build relationships. You can have those conversations with other entrepreneurs, find other entrepreneurs like you who are skilled in those areas that will also support your business. We need to be vulnerable. I know it's hard to be vulnerable enough to say, I don't really know this, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to start learning to do it. Some people will offer you help, yes, some will not, but keep trying. You never can tell.
Right. And I thrive in collaboration. So, what I have found is I'm attracted to other entrepreneurs, and then the five of us are having conversations and then realizing we all have the same frustration. So, if we find one podcast producer, now she has five clients. If we find a VA, now she has five clients. If we find an accountant, now she has five clients. So
Mhm.
there's that. We could get together and just complain about how hard it is, or
Yes.
we could use that entrepreneurial energy to create a solution that also benefits this other small business owner who, of course, you want to take on five podcasting clients and you only had to have one phone call. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, so it's always something that we need to know that yes, an entrepreneurial journey is scary, but it shouldn't be lonely, really.
Mm,
It shouldn't be lonely. And when I talk about my business, human resources, a lot of people, what I've come to understand is most clients come to me when there's an issue. So my role currently is to keep educating small business owners. I try to make my services quite affordable, because I understand the journey and the process of being an entrepreneur, a small business owner. Most business owners are bootstrapping their
right,
businesses. So if you can find a fellow entrepreneur who can help you out and give you amazing review on Google, that's something.
right,
It doesn't necessarily have to have maybe like financial reward to it. You can help a fellow entrepreneur do this or with their accounting, and they refer you to a friend or a cousin that needs your services. So
right.
that's how you build that community for yourself.
Yes. I love that. And you're just trading services, and you can, I am a fan of trading services and paying each other instead of trading services and having it be free.
Exactly. It's very important because sometimes I have also experienced it where people don't know when to stop. So you need to learn to create those boundaries.
That's right.
You need
Right.
to know. I actually had this conversation with somebody earlier in the week. So I said to her, look, I want you to succeed. I really do. I've helped you with your onboarding workflow.
Yeah.
I've done your auditing for you because I want to set you up for success. But I can't keep doing this because this is what I charge. This is
Right.
how I pay my bills. This is how I take care of my
Right.
daughter. So we can figure out a way. I might not give you a full 100% service in this area, but I can show you what to do.
Hmm.
And then
Yes.
I still feel like I'm not doing it for free. Yes, I want to help every small business owner I come across, but that won't be why. So I need to start setting boundaries for myself
Right.
also.
Right. And you're raising the vibration of the entire exchange because when someone says, well, I really want it, but I can't afford it, it's like, I'm not going to co sign on that
Mhm.
because I think you can. I think you're resourceful. I think you go get a client. And then with some of that money, you can pay for my service.
Exactly.
Yeah. How about
And
that?
sometimes when you're giving free labor, people don't tend to appreciate it anymore.
Hmm.
You commonize what you do when you commonize your skill sets.
Right. Well, and there's transformation comes in the transaction.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true. That's
Right.
actually true. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, even I lead culinary trips to France for solo female travelers, and there's something magical that happens when they push the button. They say yes to themselves. It's already been the best trip we've ever had, and we haven't even packed our suitcases yet. Because there's something about I'm going to say yes to myself. I'm going to do this. This is a big investment. My trips are there are lots of people that do lots of fabulous trips. The way I like to do it is to have it be all inclusive so that my client only has to say yes one time.
Oh,
But,
amazing.
all of their hotel and transportation and food and beverage and all the fun experiences that we have and all of the help and availability and questions that I answer in the months leading up to the trip and community call, all the things. I know the value that I bring, but I don't necessarily know how to communicate that value well on the sales page, but I know how I like to travel. I know what hotels I want to stay at and what restaurants I want to take us to. And this is just how much it costs. And if you're in, you're in. But then once they say yes to that and make that leap, that investment, then they get the benefit of all the value that comes with it. And then that transaction created a transformation, and now we're on a higher frequency
Yeah,
together.
that's great.
And then we have the amazing dreamy experience, and then they forget. It's so
Mhm.
cute because we get there and they're like, you don't have to buy my coffee. I'm like, yes, I do. This is all,
You
you
already
only
paid
have
for it.
to pull out your handbag when you're shopping and you want to buy something for yourself. But
Mhm.
other than that, this is what this is. So it's an interesting dance that we do, but
Mhm.
it's us valuing ourselves and our service is required before anybody else will.
Mhm.
So if you're just trading services with a fellow entrepreneur, but you're not charging for it, you aren't valuing
That's
your
true.
contribution. So how can you expect them to?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's what I love about the trades not being free trades, but
Mhm.
you pay me and I'll pay you. And if it nets to zero, awesome.
Yeah, that's actually very important because I've also, like I said earlier, sometimes you do that, it works for some people, it doesn't work for a lot of people because they take that free service for granted and think, okay, I'm gonna email you at 12 midnight and ask you this question. I'm like, no, you redirect that conversation. He said, I really love to help you. Do you mind sending an email? We can book a call for us to have this conversation.
Right. And there's a payment link
And then,
in
yeah,
my
exactly.
calendar.
Exactly. So I had to learn. That's one of the biggest lessons I learned being an
Yes.
entrepreneur because I am such an empath that I want to help, 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 help.
Hmm.
But no, it doesn't work. So my advice to small business owners who are also like me, please
And me.
make sure you redirect conversations that will require you giving free services to people. You can offer the first time, you can offer a free service the first time just to understand the person's pain points. So you
Yes.
can offer value. But when you know that you're about to offer that value, you need to know how to charge
Right.
for the
Right.
value
And
that
that
you're offering.
can be a 30-minute call. It can be, but for you also, you wrote a book.
Yes,
So that is their opportunity to get your expertise at a low price point.
exactly.
If they're going to book a call with you, it's going to be, maybe you're doing a 30-minute discovery call to see if you're going to work together, but then that's it.
Yes. That's most likely it. And it depends on what you're asking for. I can say, oh, you can, it's like, oh, if it's someone that I said, what is low, have you bought it? You need to look at it. Look at chapter 222. Look at
There
chapter
you
one.
go.
Look at chapter this.
Yep.
You can, but if you want us to have more conversations about this, then this is what the value that your investments, this is what you're investing, the value that your investments will get from having this conversation with me.
Right. And that it's an up level. It's an up level for you as the business owner to say, listen, I love being in service. I love that you have my phone number. I also offer this as a service, as a paid service, and I'm going to need you to use the paid service. How do you
Absolutely.
have that conversation?
I've had that conversation. That's when you have to redirect, know how to redirect it. When
Right.
somebody's asking for something free or something that you know that is tilting towards being a free service, you say, you know what, I will definitely want to hear more about this. This is a link to my Calendly or booking appointment, booking link, book for a 30 minutes or 1 hour one-on-one conversation about this. And sometimes it's paid, sometimes it's free. But if
Mm-hmm.
you know what I always do before you start offering the value, make sure you charge for it, please. It doesn't mean you don't want to help people. You have to make sure you have that roof over your head to
Right.
continuously help other businesses.
Right. I mean, I think it's our conditioning that says, well, it comes really easily to me, so I should just give it away for free.
You know what? I had to learn. I told
Right.
myself one day, if it was that easy, why are they not doing it?
Right. I mean, I feel like it is our conditioning like, oh, God gave me this gift, so I'm just supposed to
Give it
give
for
it up
free.
for free,
Mhm.
and I that's not in the Bible actually. And so I think we get that messaging pretty early on, but I would love, just if you don't mind, like how do we, like, let's say in my case, for
Okay.
example. So I have people in my life that love this podcast, that are completely on my wavelength. They feel that my advice is in service to them, and they reach out, and I'm so eager. Yes, yes, I would love. Oh, yeah, say more. Okay, blah, blah, we have a conversation. And then the next day, there's another one. And then the next day, there's another one. And then there's four. And then there's a voice memo that's 13 minutes long. And then it's like, okay. So if I have been allowing this behavior, but it's no longer feeling good to me, how would you suggest? I'm going to my HR director. How would you suggest that we recalibrate something that has all that we've already been allowing, but it doesn't feel good anymore?
So this is when you become, you think about yourself. They say self-preservation is what the
Yes.
first law of nature. So you need to think about that and say to yourself, I have a child to feed.
Mhm.
I need to keep this roof over her head. I need to pay my phone bills, my internet bills. So if you keep giving this free advice or free services, if you keep giving this advice and services for free, how am I going to do it? And you need to, even though it comes very, very easily to you, it's a gift that God has given you.
Mhm.
So you also are required to get some level of revenue from it to be able to help yourself. And because you also have to invest back in yourself. So what do you do to someone who continuously come to you for free, for freebies?
Mhm.
I said it earlier, you will need to learn to redirect that conversation. If she calls you, oh, I have this, because I've experienced this, so I'm speaking from
Sure.
experience.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
What's most personal is most universal.
I have this issue. I was like, okay, 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 okay. Can you send me an email? That's what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm redirecting that conversation. And when they send an email, and this is what I already have a contract, a proposal. That's why you remember when I talked about the SOP, you must have an SOP even for yourself. Okay. So these are the things that you need to know, the steps that you need to take for your business. You already see this is the problem I have. I'm having issues with my employees. They're coming to the office late, or they're having conflicts in the office. You see, they have 3 or 4 issues. You know what you're gonna charge to be able to give advice on those things.
Mhm.
You send an email, you send a link for you to have that one-on-one conversation. this is how I'm going to help you do this. You're not putting in exactly what you would do, but I know how I'm going to help you do this. If you have a proposal, I have a proposal. I have a link, a tool I use. It's called Dupsado.
Okay.
So I send you the contracts. I'll tell you, okay, this is the problem that you have from what you explained to me on that email. This is how I'm going to help you. I'm not giving you the entire way. This is how I'm going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
This is how much it's going to cost for me to help you do this.
Yeah.
If you're okay with it, let's continue this conversation.
It's very queenly.
And if somebody, what you need to understand is someone that respects your services, unless they don't have the resources or the budget for it, that's when you negotiate and say, okay, because of this and that, I'm going to give you 30% off or 15% off. Or we can do a split payment. You pay now and you pay 4 times, so you give them options. But if they respect your service enough for them to seek your advice, they have to be willing to also invest in it.
Right. And I think that, obviously this situation has nothing to do with the other person.
No,
It
absolutely
has
nothing.
to do with me. It has
Yeah.
to do with what am I valuing?
Mm-hmm.
And, often people will reach out to me and say, I'm interested in leading retreats in France. I'm interested in opening a bed and breakfast. I'm interested in becoming a wedding planner. I'm like all the things that I've done. Can I
Mm-hmm.
just pick your brain? And I need to no longer let people pick my brain for free.
Somebody was telling me, I can't remember a consultant or a creator, one of those big names. He charges $100,000 for you to meet him. People charge for conversations.
Right.
That's why it's called consultation. You go to the doctor, 10 minutes, the doctor is going to charge you consultation fees. So don't feel bad about it. You have to add value to what you're doing. And that's how they respect what you do. So
Right.
you're not going
Right.
to go to the doctor and say, oh, I have a headache. And it's, oh, don't worry, I'm going to give you free 10, 15 minutes. No, you're going to pay for it just to have a conversation. If you're going to talk to a therapist, you pay the therapist. So when you have this knowledge, that's why you have years that you invested in gaining all this knowledge, all these skill sets. You need to value it enough for people to respect it enough to pay for it. I know sometimes if you're an empath, you want to help everybody.
Right. It's like I said, it's not them, it's me.
Yes.
It's me, like, am I really going to own this? Can I do this? Am I going to just keep relying on divorce settlements, or am I actually going to like generate my own wealth?
Exactly. I remember you have a daughter that you need to create that generational wealth for.
That's right.
How are you going
And
to do it
I
with the
have big
knowledge you
plans.
have?
Yes.
And like I said to you, even if you're the only one running your business right now, you need to have your policies in place really for yourself.
Yeah.
Create those policies for yourself. Create the culture you want, because at some point, if you look at yourself in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, how do you see your business? Where do you see your business? If you can see yourself, if you're generating $1 million annually and you see in the next 5 years you're going to be generating $100 million annually,
Mhm.
how are you going to get there? So this is the strategy you need to start building for it.
Right. Not by giving it out for free. That's
No, you can't. Exactly. How are you gonna bring in your personal assistant, your
Mhm.
executive assistant, your office manager, your operational manager, your COO, your accountant? How are you gonna hire those people?
Right. Yeah, it's so fascinating to me because, again, as in this conversation, which I'm so appreciative of it, because even if someone's listening and they're like, oh shoot, I've sent her a mess, I've asked her that question, like, I am not talking about you, I'm talking about me. Like, seriously, it is okay, Wendy Harrop, like, let's clean up, let's do
Exactly.
this. What are you? I mean, I've been an entrepreneur since 1991. So I have developed these practices as a child. I was a little girl. I mean, I was so young. I was 19 years old, I think. Was I? How old was I in 1991? I don't remember. Anyway, I was very young, 20 something. And I have carried that juvenile mindset that
Hmm.
is not in service to me. But it's not that I keep every day saying, I decide to run my business like a 20-year-old who doesn't know what she's doing. No, it's running unchecked in the background, that it's you're not supposed to pay for what comes easily. Like, I don't even know. It's such a dumb narrative. Like, I can't even verbalize it because I don't even know what it is, but I'm giving it so much power in my life and practices because it's a habit. And a belief is just a thought we keep thinking. So I'm going to create a new belief that my expertise, my information, my knowledge is valuable. I value it. I paid in years and experience and cash to gain that information. And if somebody would like to pick my brain, I will happily send them my calendar link with a payment associated with it.
Wait.
And I will also honor my own decisions. And if somebody doesn't like that I'm charging for my time, then that's between them and Jesus, not nothing to
Exactly.
do with
And
me.
they're not your core they're not your clientele base. They'll move. People who will value your services, who will pay for your services, will pay for your services.
Right.
People who respect what you do will pay for your services because you know the funny thing, if they call you for that advice and you're not willing to give it, they're going to go somewhere else and that person is going to charge them. Someone they don't know is going to charge them and they're going to pay because they don't know that person.
Right.
I was telling a friend of mine who runs a business, his security, he's also my client now. He runs a security installation systems business. And he was telling me, I can't pay my rent. I said, why? What happened? He said, because my clients haven't paid me. Oh, we have such great relationship and they haven't paid me. I said, if they walk into a store, they're not going to take a security system for and then tell them, oh, I'll pay you in 5 years. No, they're
Yeah.
going to pay before they step out of that building. So you need to start
Yeah.
charging.
Right.
You need to tell them we have a contract because I love to have, it's important we have contracts with people. I have a contract with you. This is the stipulated time for payment. You can give me 50% upfront. And when I'm done with installing the security system, you pay me the final 50%. Or you pay me 30% upfront, 70% after the work is done. But you need to start creating those boundaries, first of all, and respecting what you do enough to charge for it.
Right. Right. And like I've said 85 times, it has nothing, it is not the other person.
No, it's not.
They are
It's you.
not, they're not even, if I sent the link with the payment, they would be like, oh my gosh, of course. Yeah,
Exactly.
of
Sometimes
course.
you're overthinking it because
Oh,
sometimes the people who appreciate
100%.
you will want to also support you.
Yes. And the reason that I'm harping on this and also just really being vulnerable as well is because I know that the women listening, some of their yes to themselves is a new yes. And some of them are following their creative dreams, and a creative, it already feels hard to charge. And you're a woman, that already feels hard to charge. And if you're like second career or you're questioning if you can even do it, then that makes it hard to charge. It's like, oh my gosh. And if you were raised in the church, then it's like, oh my gosh, you're just like, you're down for the count already. So I just want to empower all of us. Nobody is expecting you to give it away for free. So stop. Or
Yes.
don't start. That's even better.
Mhm. And if you're uncomfortable, especially if you're in the creative space, you don't know how to start charging, you research what the successful people in that field you're in, what did they do? How did they make their money? Because they did not become successful by doing it for free.
That's right. That's right. And when you are generating wealth, you can be benevolent with it.
Exactly.
You
You
can
see how
give
you're
that
gonna
away.
Yeah, the service to the world. You can
Hmm.
give to charities, you can support other people, you can support other entrepreneurs who are growing, so that's
Yes.
how you're going to do it. If you don't
Yes.
build your business, how are you going to add value to your community?
That's right. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I could talk to you all day long. And that was just such in service. I had no idea we were going to talk about that, but I appreciate your willingness to bring your A game. Please tell everybody where they can find and follow you, how they can get their hands on the book, all the good things.
My book is on Amazon, is Beneath the Cornerstone, is on anywhere, any country, you can just type it in on and search it up on Amazon. And I have my website is vivianokeke.com. So it's also, there's a link there. I am on Instagram, is Vivian_C_Okeke. That's my Instagram handle. And LinkedIn is Vivian Okeke. The name of my business, my company is called Pro Support HR Partners. So you can search it up on the internet for, it's prosupporthr.ca.
Perfect. We will link everything down in the show notes as well. Vivian, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.